And then he gets into, after that section, he gets into this little thing where he slides up to the 5th fret. And he barely plays, but he does play the 7th fret of the E string. So that's sliding into the 5th fret of the A string. He actually slides into that 5th fret of the A string, plays the 7th fret of the A string, and then he barely gets that 7th fret of the E string in there before he starts this phrase. So, and that phrase is just, he plays the 5th fret on the A string to the 7th fret of the A string to the 5th fret of the D string to the 7th fret of the D string, and slides up to the 9th fret of the D string, then the 7th fret of the G string. So that whole thing is then he goes back down to the 9th fret of the D string, so that's and that section right there, that whole first section was over the G7 chord. Then it goes to the A minor chord, and that's where it slides up. And when it goes that right before this note, all those notes basically are, it slides up from that 9th fret on the D string to the 10th fret on the D string to the 9th fret on the G string, then the 10th fret on the B string, and then you're starting to bend between a whole step and a step and a half, which is which are those notes basically. So you have then it slowly bends down and then chromatically walks down from the 10th, 9th, 8th, 7. Now again, the reason why that phrase kind of sounds so cool and works and sounds like it's outlining the chords is because essentially it is. When it's doing this walk up, again, that's the major third of the G to the 5th, to the 6th, to the major third again. And that note right there is the major third of the G before it slides into this note, which is the minor third of this minor chord. Then it goes to this note, which is the 5th of the A. And all three of those notes are the root, the 9th, and the minor third of this chord. Then when it goes up to this chord, the B minor chord, he slides down to that note, and that note is the 5th of the B chord. So the reason why, again, I go over all this stuff is it helps me out, and I've gotten a lot of comments that kind of information has helped a lot of people out, understanding like target notes and understanding why licks work. Eventually, we're going to have a course on target notes and understanding the strengths of certain notes over other notes and how to approach those notes and how to lead into certain things. It's a huge topic, but I'm really excited about it because that really, I mean, you could play, there are some players that make a living at it just playing like G minor pentatonic over a G chord, and you know, they hit notes at certain times and everything, but when chords change, they continue to play the same scale, and they don't really know why certain notes are stronger over that than other notes. So again, that's a tangent. Sorry, we'll get back to that at some point, but I just wanted to touch on why I'm explaining all this in detail. All right, so after he slides down, he plays the 10th fret of the E string, and he bends that up a whole step. And he picks both of those notes. So it's He doesn't pick anything except that first note. Then he picks this twice. Then he goes into the and again, you can look at this in your pentatonic scale. So the next note is the 13th fret of the E string, and he bends that up a whole step. And when he does that, he grabs, very Hendrixy, Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of thing. He grabs the B string on the 13th fret too. So it's, but he doesn't. The two don't ring together. He doesn't get that. So he again, the way to accomplish that is once you pick this note, once you pick that other note, you stop that note with one of your free fingers down here. So, and again, he's not using the pick at all. So, he bends that up, grabs the other note, bends that down, plays the that's all on the 13th fret, plays the 11th fret on the B string. Then he bends up twice on the 13th fret, a whole step to the 15th fret, basically. And again, he doesn't bend up and down. It's very much stops the note, then does that. So the whole thing is then he goes up to the 15th fret and bends up a whole step and bends down. So it's he picks up, then picks down. Then he bends that note up the 17th fret. This is all on the B string, up a half step. And does that twice. So that whole thing is and this is where he grabs he keeps that bend up a half step. He grabs the 19th fret with the pinky on the E string, bends down, that releases the bend on the 17th fret, and then he plays the 15th fret on the B string, so it's and I think he actually, when he pulls down, he pulls off that, so it's and then he does a typical blues phrase right there with basically it's, and that's your 17th fret up and down a half step, pull off to the 15th fret, then back to the 17th fret, all on the B string. Then he plays the 16th fret on the G string and resolves to the D note, the 15th fret on the B string. And again, that's right out of your pentatonic with the 6th in there. Because if you look at the regular pentatonic, that phrase would have been but instead with that 6th, that's what it is. So, and then that's the major third in there. I don't know if that was confusing. I kind of went off on a tangent there. I do that often. But anyway, I'm just trying to show you that that half step bend of the 6 to the flat 7 is a really cool thing to do. A lot of people are used to like the flat 5, the minor thirds and everything, but that flat 6 to 7 is just a really cool bend. In addition to a few others like the 9th to the flat 3rd is cool, and we can go on forever.